Are you serious? Are you serious? The Iranian nuclear talks deadline, which was set for today, November 24, 2014, there is no deal. Breaking news. There has been no deal, and it has been postponed. The talks will resume next month in December. I believe Benjamin Netanyahu put a lot of pressure on the United States of America and the other nations of the 6 superpower nations, the United States, Great Britain, France, Russia, China, and Germany, as they've been sitting at the table negotiating with Iran over its nuclear program. And of course, Israel is sitting there saying, what are you doing? You don't even negotiate with these guys. You tell them they can't have nuclear weapons, period. And if they will back off, then you can release the sanctions. Matter of fact, here's a few words as George Stephanopoulos was actually interviewing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday. I want you to hear a little bit of that segment.
Now by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for joining us this morning. I know you've been in contact with Secretary Kerry through the weekend. Do you think there will be a deal?
I don't know, but I think it's important that there won't be a bad deal. A bad deal would enable Iran to remain with thousands of centrifuges, which it could use to enrich uranium, which is what you need for a nuclear bomb. It could do so in a very short time. I think the key principle is this: don't dismantle sanctions before you dismantle Iran's capacity to make a nuclear bomb.
That's the point. Don't let up on the sanctions until you stop Iran from pursuing the nuclear bomb. Because if you understand the Iranians' ideology, if you understand Iran's end-time eschatology, they believe that they need to strike Israel. They believe they need to create world chaos, or Allah will not send the 12th Imam, the Muslim Messiah. And so one of their objectives is the elimination of Israel as a nation. They actually quote Psalms 83 when it says that they will come together in one consent and say, come, let us wipe out Israel from off the face of the earth. That be no longer a nation, never to be remembered again. I mean, this is right out of Psalms 83. Let me tell you what's taking place this morning. News out of Vienna. Iran and the 6 world powers are expected to break off the negotiations today and meet again next month after missing the deadline to clinch a final deal to resolve their 12-year standoff over Iran's nuclear ambitions, according to diplomatic sources. Details about the resumption of the negotiations were still being worked out, though one source said on condition of anonymity that Iran could not expect any new sanctions relief at all for the time being. And that's exactly what Benjamin Netanyahu said. Don't let up on the sanctions until you eliminate their ability to have nuclear weapons. So that's the good news. I think Netanyahu's pressure that he's been putting on the Americans, the British, the French, and anybody that will listen to him is you cannot let Iran in this radical Islamic world with ISIS roaring through the land, with radical jihadists and intifadas being waged against the Israeli people constantly. Let me go back and let you hear some more of what Benjamin Netanyahu had to say.
And as I understand it, the Iranians are nowhere near to accepting that. And if, for any reason, the United States and the other powers agree to leave Iran with that capacity to break out, I think that would be a historic mistake.
And the reason he says that is because Israel will defend itself if it has to. Now understand, Israel's been under attack with these people driving cars, running over their people, going into their synagogues with meat cleavers, murdering their Jewish rabbis while they're praying, wearing their prayer shawls, whacking, hacking, and killing them, butchering people. I mean, this is awful what's going on. But this is part of the rise of the beast, the New World Order, the Illuminati, and radical Islam are coming together. Throw in communism while you're at it, and you have this ugly, and the one world religion that's being formed, and of course the one world currency which will be needed, and of course the mark of the beast which drives it. You have to have an antichrist and false prophet. These are all rising. This is starting to rise. Revelation 13 tells us that. So part of it, of course, is Iran, Persia, because they're even mentioned in Ezekiel 38 as one of the Fab Five nations that will fight Israel in the final battle of Gog and Magog. So this thing is coming together. Unbelievable what's taking place. Biblical prophecy. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. The Lord is coming soon. Are you saved? We're going to talk about it today on my live broadcast, so don't miss it today. 12 noon Eastern. Also my guest, Fabian Calvo. We'll be talking about the dead bankers on Wall Street and what he calls the silent hand of the market, the shadow government, the Illuminati.